welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this right here. The Dallas fans embarrassed themselves as Luka Doncic comes back home. And LeBron James has a new Barbie doll from Mattel of himself. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Okay. Shouts out to Raw for TV. I seen this on his channel. And goodness, golly, with this LeBron James. Before we get into this, folks, it's just the whole LeBron James career, really since 2012, has been a joke on the public, right? A joke in sports history, just a joke. And we're not talking about, being mean joke. We're talking about literally a joke as far as them trying to be funny with his career. Start with the whole GOAT thing, start with these, debate groups to cover LeBron James and lick his behind up and down for all these years. The whole clutch sports thing, him coming out saying stupid stuff. I mean, the list just goes on. And they had nothing, they could do nothing else with this guy once he went to Miami, right? Because no other great player will be covered like this after they left their team. They melted it. If any other great player, right, who was in the GOAT contention, the GOAT running, a Wilt Chamberlain, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Bill Russell, you can throw in any of those guys in the top 10 who you think should be the GOAT or your GOAT, right? A Magic Johnson, these type of guys, right? If any of these guys would have had it's hard for me just to say this period of time, but let's just say this period of time, right? 2009, 10, number one seed overall in the playoffs, top 5 in offense, defense, gets whooped by a 3 seed, 4 seed, don't see a game 7 in either of those playoff series, melts down in both playoff series, then builds a super team, taunts the NBA while doing that, taunts the NBA while doing that, and then melts down again after he taunts his opponent in the finals. He taunts his opponent in the finals, melts down, and loses with his super team. Folks, who would have this type of coverage just after those 3 years? Who would have that type of coverage moving forward? Well, 2014 was the rise of unclutch sports, right? The rise of Stephen A. Smith coming to unclutch sports, people like Broussard, and the rest of these flunkies, right? And it just hasn't stopped. We can go on with the rest of his, years, 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, with the super teams and him getting annihilated. So, I ask you, look, this has been nothing but a cruel joke on the NBA fans, sports fans in general, sports, whatever you want to say, casual fans. It's just been a joke on the people. They put this guy up with all-time greats of other sports, when in other sports, you were an all-time great. That was a winner, folks. That was a winner, right? That was a winner. We might have some guys who were anomalies or, who didn't come out on top as far as winning, but they seemed to do everything right as much as they could for the sport, and for themselves. They did everything right. They were dominant as a player, at their sport. So what I'm trying to say is, let's get into this LeBarbie, right? LeBarbie doll. And this is just another, it just coincides with the LeBron, now he has the podcast season 2. It's just a joke. Everything has to be a joke from this period, right? Just to make money. It's no longer really about real sports. And you can't be serious no more, right? What a lot of people are failing to realize or will miss what's going on right here as far as his podcast. Guess what, folks? He's saying the same thing that he said with JJ Redick. He's saying the same damn thing that he said with JJ Redick on his podcast. Like, okay. Okay. Like, what? This is how boring and uninteresting this guy's career is, he is. Like, what are we talking about? Let's talk about something else. If you're going to have a podcast, talk about something else other than what you talked about with JJ Redick. And Steve Nash ain't going to spice it up any better. Even though JJ Redick is an idiot, Steve Nash just seems like there seems to be a double butt liquor. At least lying JJ Redick, see, a lot of times to be a good liar, a great liar, like like our government is, these guys are trained to be professional liars, right? You just don't get elected. No, they take you through training to be a professional liar, to lie to the people without even blinking, without even flinching, without even caring. But what I'm trying to say is they're good at it, folks. They're like Hollywood at this stuff. Hollywood actors, right? This is what you get from, governments around the world in general, right? Politicians. These guys are straight up liars. The problem with LeBron James, he's not a good liar. There's nothing interesting about this guy. Nothing. He's not funny. He's not a good liar. Nothing, folks. So when he's trying to rewrite this history, we don't believe you. Nobody believes you. You're not. And Steve Nash, like I said, folks, what is he going to give you? He don't even sound like a man. How can you be a sports player? And look, there's one thing, like if you're like in a professional setting, okay. If you're in a professional setting, and maybe you were still head coach, and you get up on the podium, and you got to talk all soft, and you got to, you got to put on the act in a professional setting. But dude, you're on a podcast. This is how you act on a podcast? This is what we're supposed to believe? This is your personality? But if it is, I don't have a problem with it. But you're not going to convince us about these lies that LeBron James is telling you to sell us. You're not that dude. Go sit your butt down and go do something else. Because, we told you about JJ Redick. Nobody likes him. But he is a better liar than you, Steve Nash. Go sit down. It ain't working out for you. I keep trying to get on this Barbie thing, but I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting frustrated just talking about this whole thing with this guy, because it's like we can't move on. And it's so sad. What it tells you is they don't have nobody to move on to. They don't have any greatness in this era to move on to. This is their greatness right here, folks. A dude that's trying to relive a failing, revive, recreate a failing career. This guy's 40 years old, folks. 40 years old. He's been in the league 22 years. And he acts like, and the media acts like his career only went, it was like 10 years in his career. And they're trying to rewrite it. So if something happens in the next 5 years, we can try to make it different. No, folks, this isn't year 10. His career is over. And he won't move the hell over for somebody else. So this guy now is coming out, trying to be funny, getting bring out a LeBarbie. And the simple fact is, folks, to make it even worse, they won't even bring out, the Cavs LeBarbie, the young 18-year-old, 19, 25, LeBron James LeBarbie. Instead, they give us a washed up, old, Abraham Lincoln looking this year edition of LeBarbie. Who the hell wants to play with a senior citizen LeBarbie? What is this? This is crazy. This is crazy. This is another joke on the fans. Another joke, folks. I don't care if it sells 1 or if it sells 1 million. This right here is another joke. This guy has, this is a problem, folks. Yes, it's been a joke since he went to Miami, but we can say really in the 2020s, is when they really have started to really make it comical, right? Where they just come out, say stupid stuff, do stupid stuff that makes zero sense. And look, folks, if this guy had a career that was, on the up and up, he never caused no problems, no controversy for the most part, I can understand. If they want to do something, we'll do these things. I wasn't used to these things growing up, folks. The NBA sold itself based on court greatness. In a soap opera, 9 out of 10 times was based on court greatness. That's it, folks. It wasn't based on nothing else but on court greatness. That's all it was based on. That's all it was based on. So now you see this big Oompa Loompa in season 22 playing with I always say he looks like a high school kid playing with elementary school kids. He looks like a high school kid playing with elementary school kids, in the sense that he never got the hell out of elementary school. He kept failing, right? And now he's still in elementary school. He's supposed to be in high school, but he's stuck in elementary school playing on the damn playground with the elementary school kids. 2-year-old, second graders, third graders, fourth graders. He's out there playing with them, folks. He's out there playing with the elementary school kids, and he's supposed to be in high school. This is the retarded kid. It's just a joke. Like, his podcast is just a joke. And I heard something from Sports and Fitness Rants. He was talking about LeBron James on his podcast and trying to rewrite history. We did the whole LeBron James video on his upbringing, which is the biggest fraud. It's just the biggest fraud, right? And how he was rescued. When I did the video, he was rescued in 4th grade, and I think he was like 8 years old or something like that. And from that point on, he got rescued. I forget what this guy did. I had to look it up again. I'm sorry. But anyways, he had a great job, and he made great money. But his wife, I think she was a congressperson, or she worked in the Congress. But at any rate, he grew up middle class ever since he was in 4th grade. It was a 4th or 5th, and he was like 8 or 9 years old. That was a horrible upbringing. That his mom just handed him off to some damn strangers, not to some family members, to some damn strangers that liked the way a 4th grader, 8, 9 year old, ran down the damn street, and they wanted him on the football team. Are you kidding me? This is weird. But at any rate, Sports and Fitness Rants was talking about in his video that LeBron James could have gave up something like that. I didn't get to see the whole video or whatever. Like, he could have gave up in high school and moved to another high school. Some stupid stuff that he always says on this, podcast. And I'm like, what? Like Sports and Fitness Rant said, this guy was driving a Hummer in high school. And now we know why. Because he grew up rich. Upper middle class, folks. Not middle class, upper middle class. Since he was 8 years old. Wow. Since he was 8 years old, but yet he comes back to his hometown. And he builds a shrine, aka a school, about how he made it out. Like, his mother worked her butt off as a single mother against all odds. And LeBron James struggled since he was born until he graduated high school, folks. Let me tell you this story again. He got rescued when he was 8 years old. From that point on, he went to a private school in middle school. So I think it was 5th grade. So the next year, he went to a private school in middle school, which we already know these places cost money, folks. 20. Well, I don't know what it would cost back then. But I know some private schools. Where I live at, Catholic private school, in these schools, you won't even believe what they look like, folks. They look like colleges. So even with that, even back then, to me, it would be no less than $20,000. And then we already know he went to a private high school. So they're paying tens of thousands of dollars for this guy to go to middle school and high school. And this ain't even their child, supposedly. Imagine that. Some family just scoops you off the street, takes you from your mama because they like the way you can play sports, folks. They like the way a 8-year-old can run down the street. So they're going to scoop you up off the damn streets and pay tens of thousands of dollars for a kid who is a stranger, ain't even their own blood. And somebody told me this family was white. I'm not sure if they're white, whatever they are. That would be more incredible to me, right? But this was his upbringing, folks. It's worth to believe this story. Believe it or not. So what I'm trying to say is this guy had no challenges in high school. Talking about, oh, he could have quit and gave up and went to another. What? You could have went where? To another? Where you gonna go? You gonna go to another privileged $30,000 high school? And on top of that, I heard the dude was dumb. He wasn't even, he was barely passing these classes. Or barely graduated. And some say that's the reason why he didn't go to college. Imagine that. They try to use this excuse all this time, folks. Oh, yeah, LeBron just didn't go to college because of his situation. Situation? What situation? This dude, his stranger new parents, because that's what they are to me. The parents the new parents who are strangers, who are paying for this guy to go to school. These schools cost more than what somebody would make minimum wage a year. More than what you will make on a minimum wage job yearly. It costs to go to these high schools. How is she being taken care of? That's the real story. You're trying to tell me, well, his mama, you're trying to tell me that they want to take care of him and they have enough money to pay tens of thousands of dollars for him to go to school at these private schools, but they don't have no money to give his mama? How they take care of his mama? We'll never know that, folks. It's a lot of questions to be asked, but the media is not going to ask. It's too late to ask them, really. That's his upbringing, a phony. And that's why we keep coming back to this. It's all a joke. All they're doing now is making a joke out of everybody. It's a joke. So Luka comes back last night. I don't even look. Luka comes back and he destroys the Mavericks. This is my problem with the Dallas fans. Grow some balls. Grow some balls. Look, it's okay. They did a whole tribute to this dude, like he played his whole career there, like he brought them a championship. AD brought the Lakers a championship. I can understand that. But come on, man. This is what I'm going to say. The whole time Luka was scoring, they was applauding this guy. How do you give your team a chance to win if you're applauding the opponent the entire damn game? This wasn't Michael Jordan at 38, 40 years old, going to the Wizards and then going back to Chicago Stadium. And the Bulls, basically with nothing to play for, applauded Michael Jordan. for bringing them 6 championships, for getting pushed out, for being the greatest player of all time. That's different, folks. But for them to applaud Luka on every damn shot, what are we talking about, folks? How are you giving your team, who is right there, number 10, a playoff or a play-in contender, how are you giving them a chance to even get into the play-in? How are you giving them a chance to win? That's why I said these aren't real NBA fans, folks. These aren't real NBA fans. I mean, Luka is great. He ain't that great. He didn't bring you a championship. Don't think Luka didn't have any hand in this nonsense. You got to be a fool to think he didn't. Don't be a fool. If Luka won this, I don't know what it is. How come he didn't have a no trade clause? And if he didn't like it, why did he threaten him? Well, if you trade me, I'm not going to sign with them. Okay, I'll play the rest of my contract, whatever, until it's over with the Lakers, but I'm not going to sign with them. I want to be with my team, the Mavs. I like playing here. Nope. Trust me, he wanted to get the hell out of there and get over there to LA because everything's bigger. Yeah, it messed up his max, but guess what? Oh boy, he's gonna make some money over there, folks. Lights, camera, action. And then when his contract does come up, look, folks, Dallas should be embarrassed of themselves. Embarrassed. That ish they pulled. That's why I said these aren't real NBA fans. They're not. They're not. And like I said, it's okay to give the man love or whatever like that. But why cheer him the entire game? For what? This is crazy. And Anthony Davis, what are they doing with this guy? What are they doing with this guy? So you're not going to play through your best player? Wow. He just looks lost. Anthony Davis is running around looking lost. Dallas looks lost. Dallas ain't no good three-point shooting team. Look at this trade, folks. I can see why they're applauding in Dallas. They know they're finished. They're finished. If AD don't get to play like he used to, he's finished. He looked like a damn fool running around. They should have had Gafford and AD in that game at all times. All times. I don't care. Don't tell me, oh, they need a perimeter guy. I don't care. That's what I'm going with. If Kyrie is this good, Kyrie and AD, and you plug in Gafford right there at the power forward, whatever, this should be a good team. This should be a good team. So let me get off of here, but you know, the Dallas fans are embarrassing. How could you be a player, a Mavs player, and they're sitting up there applauding Luka all damn game for what? These fans today are trash, and you're sitting there trying to make it into the play-in. Don't think he didn't want to leave. This is how stupid the fans are. And how stupid they are. We see who are the reporters and the analysts for ESPN. All the liars, the dummies. A guy named Wendy. This ought to tell you everything. He might be a chick. What dude will let other people call them a woman? Wendy. Where do you get Wendy out of Windhorst? Okay, cool. Call me Gwen. Wendy? ESPN is a joke. All these these guys aren't even sports analysts. Like we always say, these guys don't teach you any sports history. All they can do is lie and try to have these comparisons. And it's cool if you have comparisons. At least teach NBA history. So let me know who's gonna go get this LeBarbie. Like I said, they couldn't even bring us, or not us, I don't want it, bring you or whoever wants it a younger version. They done brought you a steroid Abraham Lincoln, old, washed up, 4 and 6, meltdown loser, super team builder version of LeBron James. Why they do this, man? Why they do this?